Hi, this is Annette Levy, and this is my PowerPoint presentation for behavior modifications for students with ADHD. What is ADHD? ADHD, also known as Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, is a neurobehavioral disorder that is characterized by either significant difficulties of inattention or hyperactivity and impulsiveness, or a combination of the two. Who does ADHD affect? Although ADHD can affect many different kinds of populations, it is most commonly studied and diagnosed in children, and it affects about 3 to 5% of children worldwide. ADHD is diagnosed in about 2 to 16% of school-aged children. It is a chronic disorder, with 30 to 50% of those individuals diagnosed in childhood continuing to have symptoms into adulthood. Adolescents and adults with ADHD tend to develop coping mechanisms to compensate for some or all of their impairments. It is estimated that between 2 and 5% of adults live with ADHD. It is diagnosed 2 to 4 times more frequently in boys than in girls. Symptoms of students with ADHD. Many students who suffer from ADHD exhibit similar symptoms and are easily noticed by educators. Such symptoms include being easily distracted, daydreaming. The student might struggle to follow instructions and directions, and can be easily bored with a given task. The student who has ADHD might also have difficulty focusing attention on any given task, may often lose items, not seem to listen when spoken to, and can have difficulty processing information as quickly and accurately as other students. Behavior modifications for students with ADHD. Although it is difficult for students with ADHD to focus in a classroom environment, there are several behavior modifications that teachers may use to ensure success in the classroom. Teachers can frequently monitor students' achievements through the use of formal and informal assessments. This can be with teacher-made tests and informal observations. Social praise is an important behavior mod for students with ADHD because it reinforces the positive behaviors they are exhibiting in the classroom. Students with ADHD can work in small groups to promote their social skills. It can also help them to focus more since they are working with their classmates. Buddy reading is an effective behavior modification for ADHD students because they work together with their peers and have the opportunity to discuss the text they are reading. Teachers can also use material reinforcers such as stickers so that students are willing to try to focus more in class. Some educators create behavioral contracts where the student is aware of the behaviors that they must show in order to receive a small award or prize. Direct instruction is an important factor that teachers must take into consideration when teaching students with ADHD. Whole group instruction is often a difficult setting for students with ADHD because it gives them the opportunity to not pay attention and remain unfocused during the lesson. This is an example of a behavioral contract an educator might use for a student with ADHD. There are pictorial representations of what behaviors a student must exhibit in order to receive a prize at the end of the week. This behavioral contract is used on a weekly basis and is an informal assessment teachers can use to gauge student success. This contract is broken down into specific subject areas and days of the week. The teacher marks whether or not the student had positive behaviors during each subject area. If the student does show such positive behaviors throughout the week, then he or she will receive a prize or award. This is a behavioral contract in which the student gauges their own behaviors on a daily basis. The parent or guardian must sign the contract so that they are aware of how the student is doing every day. This behavioral contract would be used for a student in the upper grades since they are self-monitoring their own behaviors. A copy of the daily schedule is located on the contract, and students must circle which smiley face represents their behaviors for that period. If the teacher or parent has a comment that they want to add, they can do so at the box located next to the specific subject area. Overall, behavior modifications are quintessential for educators to use when teaching students with ADHD. They help students to remain focused and on task and allow for easier behavior management in the classroom.